welcome to the BullCast podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me today is Court Winsett.
Hello, Katie.
Soccer, the World Cup.
Or football.
That's going on.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the World Cup today, because that's obviously economic, right?
Yeah, economic boost. Or, what's interesting is I'm hearing a lot about it. I'm seeing a lot of things, but then I'm not hearing as much as I would think I would be hearing.
I have really heard very little about it, but I have a friend who is absolutely football obsessed.
Okay.
And I haven't seen him in a few weeks, but I'm betting that the next time I see him, which will be this weekend, he probably will have plenty to say about it.
All about it. So billions of people are watching the World Cup this month, but what does the world's biggest sporting event have to do with the economy?
The world's biggest sporting event.
Again, there's a lot of people that know a lot about it, and then a lot of people that may not know. Be like, the biggest sporting event, that's the Super Bowl, that's the Olympics, that's World Series, not World Cup.
I'm not sure exactly how they come to that statistic, but yeah, it's a big deal across the world.
Yes, absolutely. So our list today is countries with the most FIFA World Cup titles.
Yes, and we're going to start with the number one, the most titles held by, can you guess it? It's Brazil. 5 titles. Brazil is the only nation to qualify for every single World Cup tournament ever held and remains the most successful World Cup team in history. Pelé, widely considered one of the greatest soccer or football players ever, won 3 World Cups with Brazil. So just in his time alone, they got 3 of their World Cups, and then obviously they've won 2 others without Pelé.
Okay, the next one, Germany, 4 titles. Appeared in more World Cup finals than any other nation, reaching the championship match 8 times.
Dang, that is a lot. Italy has 4 titles too. They were the first country to win back-to-back World Cups, capturing consecutive titles in 1934 and 1938. So yeah, the World Cup's been going on for a minute.
Argentina with 3 titles. Argentina's at the 2022 championship.
Lionel Messi, yes.
I've heard of Messi.
He plays in America now.
Maybe that's why I've heard of him, but I know I had a friend that her son is very big into football and had to have a Messi jersey, all of that. So the one major trophy missing from this legendary career produced one of the most watched sporting events in history.
French star Kylian Mbappe. Apparently, I did not pronounce it correctly. It is Kylian Mbappe. Obviously, that guy, with that name, you would know for sure that he plays for France and scored a hat trick in the 2022 World Cup final, becoming only the second player ever to accomplish that feat in a championship match.
Okay, now we're going to Uruguay. 2 titles. Won the very first World Cup in 1930. Stunned Brazil in the 1950 final in front of nearly 200,000 fans at Rio's Maracanã Stadium. I know that's the stadium where the Cowboys are playing.
It's Uruguay. So they played in Rio, which in Brazil, it's not Spanish. They speak Portuguese.
Yes.
And so I have no idea how the name of that stadium is pronounced because it's Portuguese, presumably, and I don't speak Portuguese. We'll just call it a day.
Okay, sounds good.
England, 1 title. England's only World Cup victory came on home soil at Wembley Stadium, where they defeated West Germany 4-2 in one of soccer's most famous matches.
And then we have Spain with 1 title. Spain's championship team is often considered one of the greatest national teams ever, winning the European Championship before and after their 2010 world title.
Okay, so fun fact. The United States men's team never won a World Cup title. Their best finish was 3rd place in 1930 and quarterfinals in 2002. The women, on the other hand, have won 4 World Cup titles.
Woohoo! Go women.
So they're right up there in terms of total titles. The only men's country team that is ahead of them in titles is Brazil, and I doubt there is a women's team that is ahead of them in terms of titles.
Did you ever play soccer?
I did. I played soccer when I was a kid. Yeah. Church league. I never played like high
Rex
school
or competitive or anything.
Right.
My brother was very big into competitive soccer. I played a little bit of soccer when I was younger. Loved it so much. I always had the perfect bow to match my uniform. And then when I got put on an all-girls team, didn't last very long because they were mean. They had a group of girls that had been together for a couple of years, so they already had their relationship. I was there to have fun. They were very competitive. And so my mom and I were talking about this the other day. that is the one thing that they let me quit mid-commitment. And that is a rule. You do not quit something mid-commitment. It was not a good situation for me to be in, so they let me quit, and I haven't played soccer since.
Interesting. I didn't play anymore. I mean, like, it was one of those things where I liked soccer, I enjoyed playing, but as I got older, church league became like not as much a thing anymore. And like I said, I was never good enough to make it on the high school men's team.
Parents that have kids that play soccer now, it is an all-year thing.
Oh, yeah.
They are traveling all over the place. It is a huge, huge deal. And so I think that's continuing to drive more desire to watch the World Cup, to know about it, all of that.
Definitely.
So just how big is the World Cup? Is it a large cup? Can we drink from it? Does it contain wine? Does it contain water? What does it contain?
I think they mean the competition.
Okay.
Well, this is the first World Cup ever hosted by 3 countries. One that's going on right now.
Yeah.
It's hosted by United States, Canada, and Mexico, all 3 together. So it's really basically being hosted by North America.
Yeah.
It's the largest World Cup in history. The tournament features 48 teams instead of 32. So there will be 104 matches played over 39 days.
Gosh, it takes a long time.
It does. The one thing I do recall about the World Cup is just how long it feels like it goes on. So the United States hosts the majority of the matches and host cities. An estimated 5 to 7 million international visitors are expected across North America. And more teams mean more fans, more television viewers, more sponsorships, and ultimately more revenue. But who does that revenue go to?
So the economic impact, the World Cup is expected to deliver $17 billion in additional gross domestic products for the United States, according to a forecast from FIFA. The event could roughly support about 185,000 jobs in the United States. Because you think about, again, the different people to get it set up, all the promotions that's been happening prior, down to the concession stand workers, the cleaners, anything and everything between to make sure this happens. The city public works to make sure roads are taken care of. We've got traffic monitored, all of that. So supporters say the World Cup will increase tourism, will fill hotels, boost restaurant traffic, increase airline travel, create temporary jobs, showcase American cities to the world. However, money spent on World Cup tickets goes directly into the pockets of FIFA.
Well, who is FIFA anyway?
It's a fun thing to say, FIFA.
Okay, FIFA was actually founded in 1904. It is the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, soccer's global governing body. It governs international soccer and organizes the World Cup. FIFA has 211 member associations, more than the United Nations has member states.
Wow.
The World Cup is FIFA's biggest asset and primary source of revenue.
So who's really wins the World Cup? We've talked about all the money flowing into host cities, but here's the biggest question. Who usually sees the most financial benefit from the World Cup? FIFA, the host cities, the players? Most roads lead back to FIFA. As you said before, this is their biggest asset and primary source of revenue, so that makes sense.
It makes me wonder why they only do it every 4 years if it's such a big source of revenue. You'd think they run it into the ground.
It's supply and demand aspect of it. If you did it every year, it wouldn't necessarily drive as much. But if you've got every 4 years, somebody comes back and, oh, it was awesome, then you're saving your pennies to then go in 4 years. So FIFA gets all the revenue from national and international television contracts, which is, of course, billions of dollars.
Yeah.
They even get 30% of the ticket revenues off of the official resale marketplace.
I don't even know what that means.
Resale of the tickets.
Okay.
So signage, advertising, sponsorship revenue, with a small exception for local companies in each of different cities where the games are held, that money is flowing back to FIFA.
So basically, FIFA gets all the money and the costs fall on the host city.
But you think about it, I don't feel bad for some of these host cities because they are getting the people coming in who have bought the tickets. So yes, they're not getting anything from the ticket sales. They're not getting the signage and advertising, which then hurts because you would think like a local marketing company can't print all the signage, but they can print a sign that goes into the hotel that's encouraging a FIFA special rate to come here. The businesses are still going to be getting income because there's going to be more traffic. Airlines are going to be getting income because they can offer, deals to then get to wherever the host city is.
Okay, yes, that. But according to Andrew Zimblast, professor emeritus of economics at Smith College, quote, and I quote, there are very, very significant costs to host cities. The net effect can go either way. It could be a net positive, negative, or neutral. What could theoretically be a small positive contribution to the local economy is much more likely to be a neutral or negative effect from tourism, but an immense 100 million plus of expenses. Without any of the revenue, it's not a very good bargain at all.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well,
so Mr. Zimblast is not very.
You think about it, like when a city city is prepping to host the Olympics or host things like that, you got to clean it up. You got to put a lot of money in making your city look good. And so if they're not getting anything for hosting, yeah, that stinks. So is hosting the World Cup really worth it? The optimistic view, tourism, global exposure, business activity, civic pride. You want to take the other view?
The skeptical view, cities have to pay for security costs, all of the law enforcement concerns.
If people trash things, then yeah, that's on you.
Infrastructure costs. I mean, like a lot of these cities have to put money into whatever stadium is hosting the actual games.
Yeah, they need to be up to par.
Yeah.
They need to look good.
Yeah. Any city that is hosting is going to see a massive increase in traffic, which of course means more expense because they have to have traffic enforcement. And again, FIFA takes the lion's share of the revenue from the actual games themselves.
How is this possible? Like, where is the stand up to FIFA, give the city some money?
Well, I mean, we're not going to get into it on this particular episode, but I have heard a lot of people having negative opinions about FIFA as an organization. They say it's corrupt.
I just assume wow, you've been chosen to be a host city. That's awesome. It's really going to build your city up. So this is a prime example of not everything is the way it appears, and you kind of got to look at the details.
Think about what's another every 4-year sort of event that takes place in a single city, usually, at least a small geographic area, not in cities all over the country. The Olympics.
The Olympics. Yeah, I was going to say. I already said that
She's sitting here shaking her head like she doesn't know what I'm talking about.
I'm like, other than the Olympics? I don't know.
Not other than the Olympics, other than the World Cup.
But the Olympics, don't they kind of give some support to those cities?
Again, there is this assumption that there is a net positive effect for the city that hosts, but so much goes into the preparation for the Olympic Games prior to them ever being there.
Large buildings and large renovations.
Some nations have built entire stadiums just for the Olympics. One of my favorite things to look at is pictures of old abandoned Olympic facilities, like different nations that have hosted, or different cities in different nations that have hosted the Winter and or the Summer Olympics. They'll have pictures of this was the Olympic swimming facility in Russia, and it's no longer used for anything, but it's still there, a big old hole in the ground. And one of the nations that hosted the Winter Olympics, all of the ski jumps and the hills and stuff that were put together, the luge and all of that, it's all still there, but nobody uses it. It's
Park City, Utah does a whole museum now, and you can go and use the bobsled area and see different things.
I think it's Park City that I went to where one of the ski places still has the slalom course or the flags or whatever, and you can go down and see how fast you can get down the hill compared to...
The question that we've never thought of before is, is Park City keeping it up and trying to get a profit from it because they actually lost money by hosting?
I do know that Park City doesn't have any problem getting tourists.
True.
So
that is true.
It's been discussed before, hey, maybe even by us, I can't remember, but it's been discussed before that the Olympics can be an economic drag as well as an economic boom. And I also think that FIFA, the World Cup, can be economic drag and or an economic boon. I don't think that the cities that host would host if it was going to be a net negative. So I think they're seeing some benefit from being a host city.
Okay, so we've danced around it. I wanted to figure out who was hosting. So it is Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, whoop whoop, Houston, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Miami, New York/New Jersey, because it's at MetLife Stadium, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Seattle.
Now, see, I don't know if they're playing in Dallas at AT&T Stadium, but I would assume they were.
That's just them hosting another event. So that's really not, and that's a place that's already used to traffic events. They've hosted concerts and games and rodeos and all kinds of events.
But Jerry isn't going to let people use AT&T Stadium for free. I mean,
I would think there would be a charge.
There's going to be a charge.
Yeah, because it's
somebody's paying something to somebody.
It's mostly all of these are the NFL stadiums. I think all of these are the NFL stadiums.
We don't have in America soccer stadiums big enough to fit
Mercedes-Benz Stadium, that's the Falcons. Gillette Stadium in Boston, that's...
In Boston?
Yeah.
The Patriots?
NRG Stadium in Houston. The GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. SoFi Stadium in California. Hard Rock Stadium, MetLife, Lincoln Financial Field, and Levi Stadium in Santa Clarita. And then Lumen Field in Seattle.
Yeah.
For the states, these are buildings that are already structured to to hold this many people. They already have the concession stand infrastructure. They've already got a lot of that. So it's not like the Olympics where they're having to change the dynamic of the buildings to then fit for luge or swimming or whatever. So this is interesting.
We brought it up not because we think there's a definitive answer. It's kind of a fun question to debate. Is it good or bad? I will probably watch some of the games, or at least some of the highlight reels of some of the games, but I'm not a person who's ever considered like, traveling to one of the games and actually seeing it in person. That just sounds like it would be highly stressful to me.
I mean, if you're a soccer or a football fan, like, it sounds like a fun time. I mean, this is something that is a big thing that happens every 4 years. So you got to talk about it. And there's going to be merchandise, things like that, and trying to determine, whose pocket is the merchandise going into? Is it official stuff? It's going to FIFA, local companies doing it. Whose pocket is the money going into?
Yes.
At the end of the day, having a sports team or event that you root for creates community, which creates, the bar environment. I'm sure you're going to see it if you're at local sporting bars or restaurants. They're probably going to have it on the TV. It's a bunch of people all rooting for the same thing. Although rooting, I'm not going to go into what that means. But when I went to go visit my friend in Australia, I said something about they play footy over there. And I said, who should I root for? And he's like, you don't need to root for anybody. Well, rooting over there means something totally different. It's very inappropriate.
So the Aussies are not going to be rooting for anybody.
Yeah. So, rooting is having relations with somebody. Oh. So you got to be careful with the lingo. And if you're like, our song, root for the home team, it means something different in Australia.
You going to root for a team?
I will probably not watch any of this.
Okay.
All thinking about the box score from the night before, and they talk about it at work, on their phones, on Zoom. This all creates bonds amongst people. It's something to talk about aside from the weather. This is a great small talk conversation. If people still even have small talk anymore, I feel like I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but it's society. We don't talk to people anymore. It's just like, I'm going to pick up. You're sitting in the doctor's office waiting, like everyone's on their phone.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's chit-chatting and saying like, oh, hey, what you in for?
Before phones, it's not like I went in and socialized.
True.
They had some bad television show on, and I would sit there and watch the bad television.
Magazines.
Although I never touched the magazines in a doctor's office. I always figured they were covered in germs. Yuck. Oh, and there's the closing bell. Ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of yet another episode of the BullCast podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our podcast delivered directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about me or Katie or Cameron or Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. We've got our bios up there. We've got pictures, and we've got a place where you can drop a comment or suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about. But hey, I mentioned pictures. We do have pictures on Instagram, and our Instagram handle is at BullCast Podcast. We also have an X handle where we might occasionally share an opinion on X, and that handle is also at BullCast Podcast. And rounding out the social media, we have a Facebook page, which is BullCast the Podcast, so you can check us out there as well. But I like to tell you every single episode, remind you in case you've forgotten, that Katie, Cameron, Nicole, and I all work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. And if you'd like to find out more about us, find out about what we do, find out about what we could do for you, find out about our amazing team, or find out about our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
There is no E. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have given you plenty to talk about with someone at a doctor's office. Bring up FIFA, bring up the World Cup, and tell them what you know. So, yeah, our job is done. So, for now, I'm Court.
I'm Katie.
And we're out.